Hi, my name's Becca and I'm an animal care assistant at Cheltenham Animal Shelter. I'm here with my own dog today to talk you through a health check that you can do at home. We're going to start with the mouth. Finney's already got his wide open. So you want to be checking the gums area, making sure they're a nice pink colour and not too pale. Obviously any redness or anything that looks obviously sore, you might want to get that checked by your vet. You also want to check their breath. If it's smelly, that could be bribery. Good boy. Obviously if they've got smelly breath, that could also be a potential problem. You also want to be looking at the colouring of their teeth. They should be a nice white colour. However, it's very common for them to get build up of tartar. So Finn's back teeth are actually showing a little bit of tartar at the moment. So extra carrots tonight. You then want to move on to the nose area. So the nose, you're just looking for any discharge. You also want the nose to be a little bit wet. If it is dry, it's not the end of the world. You just maybe want to put a bit of Vaseline on it to try and help with that. Obviously if the problem occurs, then you might want to go to the vets. What you want to be checking is their eyes. Again, you want to look for discharge. Obviously discharge is quite common in the eyes. Again, you know your dog very well, so it's really if there's an abnormal amount or if it's a strange colour. For example, green discharge can quite often mean that your dog has conjunctivitis, which would obviously mean a vet visit. You also want to check around the eyes, make sure there's no swelling, and also look for redness in the eyes as well. And the eyes should generally be quite bright and happy, which Finn's are. You then want to move on to the ears. Now, spaniels are very, very prone to ear infections because of their long hair. So you want to check inside the ears. A little bit of wax is quite normal. I wouldn't be too concerned. However, if there's a lot of wax, then you may need to do a vet visit. You also want to check for any smells, any funny odours, as that could potentially be an ear infection, which you will want to go and get checked out. What you want to be checking is their body. Tinker. That's it. Good boy. So you just want to run your hands down the body, just checking for any lumps and bumps. Any swelling. You also want to check underneath the fur as much as you can to see if there's any reactions on the skin, like redness for example. Also monitoring for like itchiness, as that could be an allergy that you might want to get checked out. And then you also want to, I'm sorry Finn, you also want to check the bum area, again just for any swelling or if there's anything stuck, it may need a clean. Anal glands is also another one to keep an eye out for. It's very obvious when this needs to be dealt with, as you will get a smell. So a lot like over the whole body, if you're noticing a funny smell, it's best to go to the vets to get it checked out. So another thing you also want to bear in mind is the movement of your dog. So Finn, for example, has hip dysplasia. So this is something that we work quite hard on, making sure that his movement is as normal as can be. Again, you know your dog best, so obviously it's just looking out for certain things that your dog normally doesn't do. So Finn, for example, sometimes does go lame on his back left hip, which for us can be quite normal, but it's still worth a vet check. So the final thing I'll be checking on Finn is his feet. He's getting a bit excited because I got a treat out for him. Oh, good boy. So when you're checking the feet, you want to check the claws, make sure they're nice and short. If they are getting a bit long, obviously you can do them yourself, but if your dog isn't comfortable, then it's best to go to a groomer's. Finn has recently been, and for example his dew claws on the front got very, very long, so they have now been clipped back. If you are going to cut your dog's claws, you want to make sure you're not cutting them too short, as you don't want to hit them quick. So obviously you also want to check between the toes. So Finn, being a spaniel, likes to go in all the bushes. Especially this time of year, you want to check for grass seeds. So you want to check between the toes, make sure there's nothing there. You also want to look for just general any redness or any swelling around the feet area. Another thing to mind for is the pads. So again, Finn's a spaniel, he's very energetic and he has ripped his pads open before. So you just want to keep an eye out for any redness or any wounds. And that's how you do a health check on your dogs at home.